Hey, it's nice to have you back here in this new video. Today we're gonna focus on the THETA X once again because RICOH just announced their official user manual of the THETA X. Well, in between the sentences, we can figure out a lot of new technique and some tips and tricks behind the THETA X. Let's go to my screen recorder and I will also take you step by step. I'll take a deep look at every detail, every technique that RICOH won't let you know. support.theta360.com/menu. I will also put the link down in the description where you can find this brand new THETA X. And if you want to know more about this previous model, there are also SC2, THETA V, THETA S, and THETA SC. Well, let's go to the THETA X. Well, it's very well written and it's divided into different sections. Where on the left side, there's a menu list for preparation. Well, we're gonna focus on something really unique, especially when there is a warning or some tips in the user manual. Well, in the preparation, you can see checking the package, what you're gonna get inside the box. And the second part, the name of the camera parts, well, we already have take a deep look at all these details. I will skip all those details because I have already covered most of the stuff in my previous episodes. But here you can see there is a caution. There's a caution in every one of the page where we'll take a deep look at the caution. So be careful when handle the lenses section, avoid damage because this dual fisheye structure is very vulnerable to scratches. So you have to take it really carefully when you use your THETA X. And when using the tripod, take care not to over tighten the screw. If you use a tripod with a different screw standard, the camera may be damaged. Well, it's another little detail about the THETA X that if you take a look at the quarter mount thread hole on the bottom, it's made of plastic. It's not metal. It's quite different from Z1. So that is why I use a quick mount release system that I don't have to screw and tighten and untighten every time. So what I only want to do is to quick release and give it a shot. And it's totally invisible if you take a look at. And this is a Ulanzi Hummingbird quick mount system. I will also put its link down in my description. Here is a USB terminal. When using a USB cable that other than provided USB cable is used, the RICOH recommend you to use the official USB cable inside the package. So if you use third-party USB-C cable, it's not guaranteed that the data communication is correct. And front lens you also have to protect, whereas this one is a front lens. So on the top of the screen is a rear lens. Just like a normal DSLR, normally we name the front lens on the opposite side of the touchscreen. Well, let's go to the other side, the preparation, the settings battery, the memory SD card. You also have some cautions. Do you see that? Also use the official cable. And it's not recommended to use a USB-C hub. And the RICOH insists that do not connect the cable via a USB hub. It may not be possible to charge with some USB hub because of the different design in the USB hub. So always directly connect the USB cable to your computer. The battery level, you can use your LCD panel. The power lamp, the charging time is for your reference. And to turn the camera without the battery, I recommend use AC adapter kit. You have to solve separately. But on my previous in-depth review on the THETA X, I will also share with you a technique to use a USB power delivery adapter and a cable to power the THETA X without the battery. And here when using a memory card, the camera, the icon of the SD card will flash when shooting until the camera recognizes the memory card. If you perform shooting before memory card recognized, shot image will be saved in the internal memory. So that is the reason why I recommend you should wait for extra seconds before this camera get fully prepared for your next shot. And also better use a fast micro SD card like this one, the UHS-2 standard, really fast. Make some initial settings. Well, this one, I will also cover you most of the user interface on touchscreen and you can refer to my previous episode. But here's a caution that the shooting and playback tutorials only display the first time when you power on the camera, just like the Insta360 camera. When you first open your THETA X, the brand new camera, there's a tutorial to teach you how to take the shot. Display the shooting screen in various settings. Well, I also covered most of the details in my previous episode, but there's one little detail. That is the remote control icon. That's the number 4 on the status icon. This one. The number 4 is the remote control, and only if you purchase the official RICOH remote control TR/1, you're gonna see the icon of the Bluetooth remote controller. But here I do have some personal recommendations for the THETA X to work properly with a third-party remote controller. This one, and this is a Joby Impulse, and this is a COMAN EX300. So these two Bluetooth remote controller are guaranteed to work compatible with the THETA X. If you use the COMAN EX300, you have to double tap to trigger the button. And for the Joby, it works pretty identical with the RICOH remote controller TR/1. And another great detail that is the RICOH remote controller TR/1 is waterproof design, so it's quite reliable. Here I would like to share with you how to connect with COMAN EX300. First, turn on the Bluetooth. The next one, in this Bluetooth settings, well, you can see dozens of the available Bluetooth devices in your environment. Well, for this one, long press, we see the indication light. And scroll down until you see the COMAN, this one. The tap, you can connect. And once you connect it, you can see the Bluetooth address. And after all this successfully connected with the THETA X, but it's not an official design, so you cannot see the icon on the top. But here you can see, if you double tap this one, you can trigger a button. You can trigger shutter. Do you see that? So the third-party Bluetooth remote controller is definitely compatible with the THETA X. And I know that some of you might come across with the Bluetooth remote controller like this one, but there are different kind of design inside this Bluetooth controller. I cannot guarantee that it is 100% compatible with THETA X. But for the Joby and the COMAN, they are guaranteed 100% compatible with THETA X. You see that? Okay. Okay, this is a bonus tip on the Bluetooth remote control that you can only find on my YouTube channel. And on plugins, once the THETA X will be officially released on March 2022, we're gonna see the plugin in this menu. And here you can see the memory card. Now you can see, and the battery level, image size, step timer, shooting mode. Well, the live mode is also absent at this moment because we have to wait for the official firmware upgrade on the March final launch event. Okay, that is the basic recap on this part. This is a basic recap, and if you want to know more about this user interface, you can refer to my previous video. Okay, let's take a look at. And you can also install the app for smartphone. That's a RICOH THETA app. If you don't know where to download, you can scan this QR code right there. And you can also install the app for the computer. That is a RICOH THETA application. That is, it's a great player for the 5.7K video. I highly recommend you can download that. You can also install a plugin, perform the stage, use the video playback, and upgrade the firmware of your THETA X. And it also works in tremendously well on the THETA Z1 as well. Connected to the camera, you have different options. You can control with your smartphone, you can control with the wireless router, and with a smartphone via a wireless router. This is quite unique because there's a client mode on the THETA X. So we're gonna take a look at the client mode. Your client mode, you can use that as you can take this one just like an Android phone, connect to a router, and use a phone, connect to a router using the same internet. You can control this camera via the router, phone, the router, and your camera. You can control your camera. Actually, you have 3 different options. You can directly upgrade the firmware on the basis of this touchscreen. This is just like an Android phone, or you can upgrade firmware with the RICOH THETA application on your Windows or Mac. And you can also upgrade on your smartphone. I highly recommend you upgrade firmware via this touchscreen. This is very intuitive and it's a lot of fun. You know, upgrade firmware for the previous RICOH THETA model, it's kind of like a miserable, you know. So in this THETA X, I think upgrade firmware has never been so easy. You can take a photo with a camera only. I will also share with you everything in my previous in-depth review, but we do want to know whether there are some cautions in this one. Here you can see when you take a photo, azimuth orientation information will not be recorded correctly if the camera is tilted on a magnetic item such as, so you have to place your camera quite far from your phone or some other interference with the magnetic. If the battery level drops below a certain level, the shooting video will not be possible. So the THETA X has a pretty strict battery strategy. Setting the exporter program, because in the THETA X there are different exporter criteria. Setting the exporter. Here you can see it's auto, shutter priority, ISO priority, manual, and my settings. Here I do have this. If the shutter speed is set slower than 1/8 seconds, where exporter program set to manual, a sound is here both at start and end of shooting. Okay, for example, we use 1/10 second. Let's take a look at the photo. And this is only a beep once you press the shutter button. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Take a shutter speed into 1 second. You can hear 2 shutter sound at the start and the beginning. Did you see that? That is exactly the caution means in this user manual. So this is a great design detail, and this has been adapted in all the RICOH THETA models. And also, you can hear 2 shutter sounds when you set to noise reduction or the HDR rendering. They're all shot based on multi-frame and fusion. Okay, so far so good. Coming next, let's take a look at the check-in and change the shoot conditions. Well, I have also shared with you the walkthrough on the interface. Here you can see some cautions. Well, it's the same as the previous section. But here, when performing the shooting with exporter set auto with option set, the RICOH recommend to shot the noise reduction and HDR rendering on the fixed camera position, such as a tripod, to prevent the camera from moving, because handheld HDR is currently missing on the THETA X, which might be possible in the future. And here you can see some cautions on the video. The video, when you capture video at 5.7K or 4K 60, you cannot transfer to a smartphone. Also bear in mind that you have to turn on the client mode to capture the 5.7K video. If the temperature inside the camera rises, shooting is forcibly stopped for safety purposes, so sometimes it will overheat. And there are some various shooting technique. There's you can see the touch shutter. You can use a touch screen as a shutter, and you can use self timer, and you can also shot some retrospective videos. You can perform the retrospective video shooting by pressing the hold the shutter button for half seconds or longer in the video shooting mode. Let's take a look at tapped into the video shooting mode. Now I'm in the video shooting mode without self timer. Here you can see long press shutter button. The THETA X will not recording immediately, but it will enter into the recording standby mode. Once you release the shutter button, it will capture the video after this technique. And that is how the retrospective video works. But I don't know when or where we need to shoot the retrospective video. But anyway, it is an interesting technique behind the THETA X. And it also uses THETA the TR/COM1. And with the Bluetooth control, you just cannot shot retrospective video anymore because it's not a physical shutter button of your camera. Just use your Bluetooth as an I/O device. Anyway, I do want RICOH has a better explanation on the retrospective video because it looks like it's an interesting technique for the THETA X. The THETA X will record for 2 seconds and it will stop, enter into recording standby. And if you release the shutter button, it will start from the 2 seconds. So I do want to know when and where I need to shoot retrospective video. And that's it. Okay, so far so good. Next one is the live stream. Live stream, we will see the feature on the March official release. So I don't know how to use that, but you have to use the computer and better use the official USB cable. you can display the thumbnail and delete multiple still images or videos. And there's no caution here. Playback and in a single view. You can also still images shot with normal shooting, time shift shooting in a single view when you capture in continuous shooting mode. You can view them one by one, see them as individual frame. And viewing and sharing using a smartphone, you can share via the cloud services provided you for free by RICOH. Even though you don't use the RICOH THETA app, you can also take advantage of the RICOH THETA 360 cloud storage services. We do have the same cautions here once again. I will also explain to you all of them, and you can also shoot with a smartphone and start and stop recording. How to share the still images, videos? Well, you can share to the theta360.com. It's a free cloud storage services provided by RICOH for you. And next one, let's go to the view and sharing use a computer. So it's quite different. You have to import, playback, and share. This is where you need to use the RICOH THETA app and also the RICOH THETA transfer application if you need. Here you can see, do not turn off the power removed USB-C cable while importing still videos or images. Insert USB cable securely all the way when connecting it. So this user manual is very well written in every tiny little detail for the users. Here you can see you can use the Photos app or the imaging capture app on your Mac. And on Windows, you can just open the device to view the file, just like you insert a hard drive, okay? So this is how you can view, import, playback. You can use the app for the computer. That is the RICOH THETA Basic app. This is a great app for playback. And the video may not be playback smoothly depending on the operating environment because the 5.7K take a lot of power and the resources to smoothly playback on your platform. That is how you can also share it on the theta360.com if you have the basic app for the RICOH THETA. And you can also upload some other platform like the YouTube or Facebook or some other platform. theta360.com is a key part in between this sharing platform provided you for free by RICOH. Here you can change the settings. You can check and change the settings on the go, just like Android phone. And the cautions, well, there's a lot of cautions we have to take a closer look at. So depending on the geographical weather condition, the position information may not be acquired. That is the GPS information. And the position of GPS satellite change constantly, the position information. So sometimes the THETA X will not be able to capture the precise location information, position data, because the GPS system is changing constantly. And the object that generates the radio wave in the same frequency band, such as mobile phone, that it causes some interference. So for the GPS system, it works as maybe a 1.5 gigahertz. So sometimes we get interference by some other radioactive devices. And sometimes the acquisition of the position information might take some time. And be sure to turn off in places where the use of electro devices is prohibited, such as hospitals and some taking off and landing airplanes. This is really important to use your THETA X legally. The position information addition function of the camera was developed as a function for the personal use for digital cameras. It cannot be used for navigation equipment for aircraft, vehicles, people, and surveying requirement. RICOH is not liable for any damage caused by using it for its purposes. So yes, that is the official sentences by RICOH, and use your THETA X to bear law in your mind. Okay, so far so good. We also see some cautions that the deleted file cannot be restored, and you can see all these great details in the THETA X to definitely check out by yourself. So extending the camera functions, you can use the plugin menus and plugin store of the THETA X ecosystem. But currently we don't have this option because we have to wait for the March. Qualified third-party developers of RICOH THETA X, you can unlock your THETA X into developer mode. But you have to prove yourself as a qualified developer for the RICOH community. So it takes some efforts to be a third-party developers, and only if you are qualified enough, you can unlock with the developer mode. Because once you enter the THETA X into developer mode, you will lose any of the warranty of this camera model. Well, I can also share with you some frequent asked questions in my previous video. You can refer to the section in my channel. Separately sold parts, cautions. But here you see that the separated sold parts is quite interesting because you can see some unique accessory design from the RICOH THETA and some safety precautions and trademarks. Well, let's take a look at the separately sold parts, some great ideas that RICOH has figured out with their design in the detail. Well, I think that the semi-hard case, the TS/2, yes, this one is definitely compatible with the THETA X. Because it was designed for Z1, but considering the THETA X and the Z1 has similar size and shape, well, this one also works great. And this one is perhaps one of the best design accessory for 360 cameras in my whole career. RICOH might propose a brand new underwater shooting case for the THETA X, but have to wait for some extra time. And here is the lens cap design, the TL/3, THETA lens cap /3. This one designed for THETA X. And this TL/2 designed for Z1 is for X. And it also has a RICOH THETA stand, two design. This one is longer, this one is bigger. And the RICOH THETA standard weight that is foldable. And yeah, this one is very interesting. And also provide you around 690 grams of weight on the bottom to make your shooting with THETA a lot more stable. And it's an extension adapter and the remote controller TR/1 and the RICOH THETA selfie stick edition 1 and edition 2. This one has a tilting mechanism. And personally speaking, I prefer to use the TM/3. This is where I purchased on the website. The 3D microphone, the cable switch, they're all not compatible with the X anymore. But here is one of the devices is great. It's an attachment for a strap. There's 5 different colors. Yeah, but personally, I would like to use this quick mount system for the RICOH THETA X because this one is really reliable and it's really thin, right? So last but not least, I'd like to share with you some extra battery solutions, but some disclaimer. This is a triple battery charger with different batteries designed by JJC. But here's some disclaimer. So RICOH and my channel not responsible for any damage caused by this third-party battery and accessories. Whether you need these third-party compartments, you have to figure out on your own. I think, personally speaking, I need these third-party batteries a lot because I am a RICOH GR user as well. I use this battery for quite a long time and it works great on my camera. And it also works on the THETA X because especially when I want to take some long-term shooting, I will take a whole day's shooting. Sometimes I need 3 batteries. And once I load some battery, I can quickly switch battery and immediately recovered my camera to 100%. This is definitely a great choice. And for some of the users, this might be the best alternative solution for this official RICOH THETA battery. But more importantly, you can see this attached this USB cable directly on the back of the triple charger. So you don't have to worry about losing the cable anymore. This is actually a great design. It's not expensive. Okay, to wrap up on this video, we have talked a lot about the RICOH THETA X. We have taken a close, deep look at the design, the written of the THETA X. In between the sentences, we have figured out a lot of great new stuff, great new design and the detail of the THETA X. And I also share with you some the third-party Bluetooth remote controller that is also compatible with the THETA X and some third-party batteries that will definitely help you make better use of your RICOH THETA X. So if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to thumb up, subscribe, and hit notification bell. Enjoy your shooting with 360 and see you next time. Stay safe. Bye.